Welcome to the Inter Realms, a Minecraft podcast, where we rewind, replay, and recap the adventures of the Inter Realms Community SMP. We are your new hosts, TheTimidTerry
and SirBercilak, and we're excited to bring you a very special episode today, sharing all the great things that happened in 2024. This is Inter Realms 2024 Wrapped.
Well, welcome on back, everybody. So good to be here. So happy to be back on the Inter Realms podcast. This is the first time that you're hearing my voice, so I'd like to take a second to introduce myself. I am TheTimidTerry. I have been a player on the Inter Realms Community SMP for over a year now. I started in World 3, and I stream on Twitch. You can catch me there. My link will be in the description below. But I'm really excited to have this opportunity to bring you all some Inter Realms news and share all of the great things that happen. And of course, I couldn't be me without my good friend SirBercilak. Hello, welcome.
Oh, hi. Like he said, I'm SirBercilak, or SB, way easier to say. I'm newer also. I started in season 4, World 4. World 4.
World 4.
Yes. Technically race to the end, but we'll get to that.
I also preview for things to come.
Yes, and I also cause chaos on Twitch.
True. We love to cause a lot of chaos together. You'll sometimes see us streaming together. So we're really excited to have this opportunity to come and hang out with you all, to share all of the great things. And we're excited for the reboot episode 1 is what I'm calling it. Of course, this is building on all of the great works that our friends Keegers and Troge started quite a while ago now when they launched the Inter Realms podcast network. But today we're kind of do something a little bit special. As we were planning for our episode, we wanted to kind of recap all of the things that happened in 2024, since it's been a while since you've heard about some of the happenings. And so we're going to treat this kind of like a, Spotify Wrapped, or all these other companies are doing these year-end review type of pieces. And so we thought it'd be fun to give you a summary of what we did in 2024.
I'm going to let you start it off since I wasn't there yet.
Yeah, awesome. So we're going to throw it back to January 2024. I can't believe it's already been a year. And I can't believe that at this time we were still in World 3. So as SB mentioned, he wasn't even part of the Inter Realms, at least on the server yet, right? You were around.
I was around a little bit, yes.
Yeah, but we had some fun as we were kind of wrapping up the end of World 3 in January 2024. I remember we had, of course, some shenanigans, lots of things, lots of folks trying to finish up, last pieces of their build. I'm trying to recall. We had Troge starting a brand new dungeon-based project at that time, which I don't think ever got created in finished in World 3. Excited to see if it comes to a future world. I don't know, SB, did you ever get a look at that?
I didn't. We need to do a tour of that.
Ooh, it'll be cool. I think he's planning on bringing it to maybe somewhere in the future. Potential spoilers here. But I'm hoping that he's bringing it forward to another world, because it was the start of something really cool. Bringing Vault Hunters into vanilla Minecraft. Such a cool idea.
Ooh.
Yeah, so I'm very excited to see, but can't believe that he was working on that, that long ago, and to kind of see some of the things that other folks on the server were finishing up in January. There was one really fun thing. So we had a random session where we got some people together. I don't think I was here for this, but we had a small group of people that wanted to try to fit in a composter together, because apparently that's something that folks like to do for fun. I don't know. Do you like to sit in composters in your free time?
Sometimes. Once or twice.
Well, anyway, we had, I want to say 4 people fit in the first composter the first time we tried this. And it was a maneuvering of people's heads in the right places, or the wrong places for that matter, lots of trap doors trying to get people, fit into the right spots. It was a lot of fun to watch. And I think we put out a short at that time. And Troge was on a month-long SMP called the Fever Dream SMP. And they decided to challenge us back. So they got some people together, got into a composter, and sent it back our way, which I do believe we responded, although I don't think we were able to beat their 7. I want to say they got 7 people in a composter.
I feel like we could beat that. We need to try this sometime.
We should try it again. You're right. We should relaunch the Composter Challenge 2025.
Yep.
Definitely a lot of fun. Some good shenanigans were had. I believe we were near Ocean Clan at that time. We went out on their boats and we found a composter. So it was nice to see some of the community areas. As we got towards the end of the world, a lot of people were focusing on their bases and trying to finish that up. So it was really cool, especially as a player who came in late and didn't get to see a lot of the clans content from World 3. It was cool to be able to see that a little bit.
I would have loved to have seen that.
Yeah. Did you ever get a tour of World 3?
I did not.
Ooh, we'll have to arrange that someday.
I was on the holiday event right before 2024. So the Christmas event is where I first showed up.
Yeah, December 2023, we had a holiday live stream weekend that was based around some mini games we had built in the holiday district. And SB was one of our guests that we had on for that. So I think that was the first time with your interaction, first interaction with most of the people on the server, right?
Yes, except for Troge, because I met Troge doing some other stuff.
Right. Yeah. It's crazy to think back and think
not know who Troge was.
Yeah. A world where you and I weren't friends. Can you even imagine?
No.
Lots of shenanigans have happened over the last year. One of the really fun and bigger events that we had in January was the Race to the End event, which SB also got to participate in.
That's actually where I first met you.
It is?
Yes.
Ooh.
Because, spoiler alert, I died a lot. There was 3 lives. I died. Wiped out. The end part, when we all fought the dragon, got wiped out again. And I was spectating, a specific person, didn't know who they were, and they got blown up. And I reached out to ask permission to use a clip, and it was you. That's the best view ever.
Yeah, we have some really cool clips. We'll have to find it and share it back with maybe on our social media as a throwback to the Race to the End event, but a couple of different angles. So this event was really cool. As we mentioned, it was a limited life speedrun style event. So we had 3 lives. We got to go into teams if we wanted to, but they were just naturally formed teams. So I ended up with Lyciant, and that was one of my first interactions with him. And then Doylan was on my team as well. And Doylan's now become, one of my really good friends. So
just yours, not mine.
He's mine, okay?
Yes.
It's really cool to get a chance to play with some different people, but there was a lot of surprises. It wasn't as straightforward of a speed run as we expected it to be.
It definitely was not vanilla.
It was not vanilla. Do you remember seeing when some of our friends were in, I think they were trying to look for the end portal, and they found cave dwellers?
Yes.
Oh my gosh.
That was horrifying.
There is a clip of Eleni just screaming in terror. I believe it was Eleni, Chemist, Stevel, DTG, and Magpie.
Yeah.
We're all trying to find the end there together and ended up getting attacked by cave dwellers instead.
It was lots of fun.
Quite the adventure for them. Because of some of the extra mods and things that got added into the world, 3 lives per person didn't seem to be enough.
And we weren't told of these either.
That's true. These were all surprises. And I'll tell you, I was on the planning team and was unaware of the mods that were getting added. Surprises, special thanks to Troge for that one.
Apparently, one of the things we had to gather was right next to us the whole time, but it was a mod, so we didn't even think to like try to farm it.
Oh, what was that?
I think it was the blaze. I think it was blaze that spawned in the overworld from a flower that we didn't think of that was right next to us to get in pearls or something like that.
I think you're right. I think Doylan got accidentally attacked by those and had no idea what was happening. We were nowhere near him. I think we were in the Nether, probably trying to get ender pearls. And he got attacked by the... Oh man, I can't remember what those flowers things were called.
It was some weird, unassuming thing. You would not have thought of it.
Yeah. Either way, it was really fun to hear everybody freak out and see all the death messages come up on the screen as people slowly lost their lives.
You remember Chemist just not realizing that we had 3 lives?
Oh my gosh, he had no idea. He was just letting himself die all over the place.
To be fair, that might have been me at first too.
Yeah, this was really cool, especially, you know, for most of us who are long-term community server survival players.
And not speedrunners.
Not speedrunners, not hardcore players. We do have some in our mixes, but a different type of event for most of us. What was really interesting is, you know, in the end, so a lot of folks had a really hard time making it to the end, just given some of the time limits, the speed run, you know, some of the different mechanics, some of the barriers they were running into with the mods. And so we only had one team make it to the end all the way on their own.
What team was that?
I think it was probably the best team, but
I wasn't on it, so I don't know.
it might be a little biased. It was
Might
myself, Doylan, and Lyciant. We were the team that ended up making it to the end to actually fight the End Dragon, only to start the fight and find out this was no ordinary dragon fight.
Do go on.
It was anything but ordinary. It had stages, it had extra mobs being thrown at us. My last life that I went into the end with, I made it last for a long time. I want to say it was, what was I in there for, like 20 minutes just trying to evade the End Dragon?
Which, spoiler alert, again, you didn't.
Yeah, and that's where the famous clip comes in.
Yep.
Getting blown up and losing it all.
Oh, I thought the famous clip was you singing when we all got gathered.
The final countdown?
Yes.
It's the final countdown. Do-do-do-do.
And now we're demonetized.
So in the end, you know, because we had some of the trials and tribulations, we didn't end up having a real winner. We didn't have anyone that met the challenge and was able to make it all the way to the end with their lives and beat the End Dragon. So we did things a little bit differently to try to get everybody else back involved. And I think anybody who was still alive but hadn't made it to the end yet got teleported to the end.
We all got teleported to the end.
I think a few people, or did everybody get revived?
Yes, because I got brought back too.
Okay, everybody got, I think, one last life.
Yes.
To give it their go. And we all went in for a chaotic final battle. Enzyme ended up being the last man standing.
And he was on my team.
Yep. And then Stevel was the one who hit the final blow to the dragon and ended it all.
He stole our kill.
It was so fun to watch. You know, at the time, Stevel was one of our guests on the server too. So to be able to, you know, have some of our guests on the winning teams and you know, being the ones to make the final blow, it was really cool to bring everybody together. And there was a lot of forming bonds that were created, I think, from that event.
Yeah. I think at least half of the people I met on there I still talk to.
Yeah. Yep. Lots of fun. So glad that we did that, and can't wait for the next one.
Yeah, that would be fun. I'm ready.
Race to the End 2 coming soon.
When did the creative planning for the new world start then? Was it then?
I think as we kind of wrapped up and got into February, I think that's when the world really started to wrap up. We had in February our End of the World 3 event. So again, we did a nice, gathering of all of the players and did a special event to honor World 3 and to end it all, as they say. And I think after that is when we had a lot of people really starting to do some different things, going into their creative worlds, making plannings for World 4. You know who the one I remember most from that phase is Chemist.
I knew nothing about planning for World 4.
Chemist was planning his mega base, which I would just like to point out a year later still has not been built.
That man still needs copper, from what I know.
He built the biggest mega base I have personally ever seen. The most ambitious approach to a mega base that I think I've seen.
I need to see a picture of this because I don't know if it's getting completed.
He's still got time, so I guess we'll see it completed, but it's hard to think that his overcompensation, we'll call it, started all the way back then.
His hoarding of copper.
I forget how many blocks he said.
This man has a spreadsheet of shulker boxes laid out in his base. A real-time spreadsheet of this base.
That's true. I think he said 21 million blocks or something crazy like that.
I have been giving this man copper for anything I need all season.
And this is where it all started. See, this is the problem with planning in creative, is that you start to get, you forget that you have to gather all these blocks in survival.
Yes. Don't use anything weathered.
Yes. All of his is aged copper and glazed terracotta. He's got a big job ahead of him.
And waxed.
Yes, all the bees. But it's really interesting to think about, how this planning actually started to trigger some of the things that people were also planning for World 4. So, things like bee shops and copper aging machines and some of those, things that have ended up being really helpful now.
I knew nothing of planning when I finally joined Inter Realms. I winged it.
Yeah. I did a little bit of planning, which I have now scrapped all of. So it was interesting to watch other people, though, and kind of see their creative planning process. I guess I have not been part of Inter Realms at the beginning of the world. So for me, it was really cool to see the excitement, the preparation, and kind of what goes into people's incredible plans.
So this is my first SMP, like big SMP. I was on one with 3 people, but that doesn't count. So I don't know anything about planning or anything. So next season's going to be great.
Yeah. I mean, it's crazy to think of Troja's build. I know he was doing a lot of planning at that time too. And I remember seeing his, smaller buildings, and he was kind of talking about a cliff face. And if you've seen his build recently,
it is epic.
It has turned out amazing. And I know it's not done yet. So just to be able to see that kind of from, start to in process, and maybe another year later, it'll be finished.
Maybe.
Maybe. Soon, TM. Let's see. February, like I said, with us, kind of splitting or kind of preparing for the next world. We did a couple other things too. I know we played some other games. We got a bunch of people together and played Among Us, which SB, I think you played with us.
I did, and I didn't realize that everybody was not. I killed the whole team a couple times.
SB was very sus.
Maybe. I didn't know it, and then I looked back and it's like, oh, that was Eleni. I was like, I'm sorry.
I think the only time I ever won as an imposter is if I was matched up with you, because I am not nearly as aggressive as you in that game.
I have team wiped everybody on my own before. It is great.
So moral of the story, if you want to play Among Us,
and not get stabbed in the back,
be on SB's good side.
Yep.
Oh goodness, yeah. So February came with a lot of fun stuff. The end of the World 3 event was actually really fun. Again, another nice surprise from our friend the Troj, who decided to put a mod called Wither Storm on our server and caused absolute mass destruction in our beautiful shopping district. Completely ruined the whole thing, but I'll tell you, we had a lot of laughs and we had a lot of fun doing it.
We need to do this again too. I didn't see that one.
Luckily, this was a backup, so we still have the clean version of the shopping district, but it was fun to get to wreck everything that we worked so hard on.
That's always one.
It's like those wrecking rooms that you go into when you're stressed, or to as a stress relief method.
Yes. Or SB when he does a build.
Have you ever been in one of those?
I have not yet.
I have not either.
See, I just built something in Minecraft and then like realized I could make it better and just blow that one up.
We have done that a couple of times with your builds, haven't we?
Yes. And there's a couple more coming soon.
Shall be excited to blow things up, and I know Miner always appreciates a good TNT session.
Well, since we're speaking of blowing things up, when did we make the spawn island? Wasn't that made for World 4?
Oh, it was. Yes, we had our mod team, our admin team, working really hard on Spawn and the new server. And I have to give them a shout out because the admin team does so much work to make this happen for the rest of us. They put in a ton of time to get the actual server itself ready with all of the mods and all of the permissions and all of the extra things that we add in there to make it our own. So shout out to our mods, or to our admin team, for doing that. And special shout out to Jurassics and Cubsy. They were the ones that built basically the entire spawn area.
Didn't they build the island itself too? Wasn't that custom?
I believe that the island, so if you haven't seen our main area of World 4, we have a spawn village, is what we call it, and then our shopping district right next to it. And it's on a nice little island. I think the island may have been a peninsula or close to an island. I think they may have only slightly shaped it. But I don't think they made much changes to the actual island itself.
Oh, okay. But they added a huge building that's beautiful.
Yes, they added all of our starting buildings, a nice spawn area for you to come into the middle of. What would you even call that? A plaza? No.
Courtyard.
A courtyard, yes, a beautiful courtyard with all of the buildings around it and everything that we needed to start World 4. And I'll tell you the reactions, just based on the reactions that I heard from people as they joined the world, even now.
Yeah.
Folks who have been watching us, some of our newest players, they've been watching us on Twitch. They've seen streams and videos of our world, but actually stepping into it for the first time and being immersed into this beautiful courtyard with these incredible large-scale builds all around you, it's pretty breathtaking.
It is.
So the work that was done, Jurassics especially, and I know Cubsy was a big help to that as well. They did a really, really nice job.
Yeah.
And then March, we got into World 4. We finally started
About time.
World 4. And SB was one of our new players, as we've already said.
That was the longest couple months of my life.
Waiting for World 4 to start.
Because I did Race to the End in January. Did the requirements... I think I don't remember. I think at the time I was panicked about it. I don't think I hit it till right before, a good 2 weeks before, but I was ready.
Yeah. And we were ready. I mean, at that point, we had known you for 3 months.
You're welcome.
You had been playing with us on various different games and, some of the events that we mentioned. We were so excited for you and all of our new players.
New players like who?
Ooh, good question. We had 14 new players join us in World 4, which is incredible because we had 37 total.
That's a lot of people.
Yeah, that's, over a third that we had that were brand new.
I came from a server of 5 people.
37 players at the beginning of this world.
That was chaotic.
I'm not a historian, so I don't know all the history, but I do think this is the biggest in our server's history.
I think it is. I think I heard something like that.
So let's see. We had 37 players. 14 of them were new. We did have one that returned from season 1. So season 1 all the way to World 4, and that was Truraldo. I know a lot of people who had interacted with her previously were really excited to see her come back on the server. And we had, what does that leave? 23 returning players coming from season 3 over to World 4. I was one of those bunch, but again, it was really cool to see it from the very beginning and be part of day 1 because, as you said, day 1 was chaotic.
I was scared. I didn't think I'd be partnered up with anyone. And so I was just running around like a chicken.
Yeah, oh gosh, it's so crazy to think back there. I took time off of my real life job to spend playing the first couple of days of the server.
Thank you.
And I had 40 hours of recorded gameplay from the first 3 days, or something just absolutely insane.
The coolest part though is because like we just happened to be spawned right next to each other at the time, and because of that clip that we mentioned earlier, that's the main reason I was like, Terry, can I join you? And it's been chaos ever since.
Yeah, and here we are. Here we are, the Chaos Crew, the A-Team, all of the nicknames and groups that we've now become part of. And we had a lot of good times too in those first couple of days. Do you remember accidentally causing a raid in the village when we were exploring?
What? Who would accidentally cause a raid at Spawn Village? That seems childish. Definitely mature.
Yes.
Like did we at least put their head on display somewhere?
I do believe your head is somewhere on display for that.
My head.
Was it not you?
It was me.
It was you. I knew it was you.
Listen, I never carried milk around, and now with the update, thank you, Mojang, I don't have to.
There you go. But you did for a while, didn't you?
I did. There was repercussions for my actions for 2 weeks. It was about 2 weeks.
Yeah, we had a lot of fun in those first couple of days, those first couple of weeks. I know I spent a lot of my time fishing, which sounds so silly. I have never spent so much time fishing in Minecraft. Stardew Valley, all day long. Minecraft, that's a different story. I mean, how much time have you spent fishing?
I've caught 3 things, maybe.
I think it's an underused skill in Minecraft, honestly.
Yeah.
Especially early game, I caught a lot of good stuff and mostly good conversations. I think that was the big thing was, hanging out with all of the new friends that I had made and just sitting there and fishing while still getting some good loot, some good books. I had, good bows and fishing rods and saddles early game for people to encourage people to use their legs. And we didn't even open the end in March.
No, we didn't.
We wanted everybody to experience the world on foot or on horse. And so we didn't open the end until April, but I'm getting ahead of myself.
You know what's funny is since we've had Elytra for a bit, I'm now wanting to go back to riding a horse. Like I'm going to start doing that.
I think that was a really cool thing that we did.
Like
you said, we all get so used to using our Elytras and flying through the nether and doing things the quickest way possible, which of course is convenient. But you don't get that same level of immersion. Kind of what I was talking about with, coming into the server, being there yourself,
yes,
as opposed to just watching it. I feel like Elytra versus, being on the ground is kind of similar. You're just seeing it from up above. So we did have our first live stream weekend from World 4 in March as well. I believe that was the second weekend of the server being open. So gave everybody a chance to kind of get started, get their bearings, figure out what they wanted to do. And then I think most of that live stream weekend was spent in Spawn Village, folks making their spawn houses and, hanging out with one another.
Playing tag, maybe?
Ooh, tag, yes. We had a lot of fun with tag. Do you want to explain tag for our friends?
I believe it was a name tag that was named, but I don't know how they did it. I think it's just magic. But you could run up and tag someone, and it would put it in their inventory, and they couldn't tag you back. And it turned you red. They turned your name red or something like that.
Yeah, I think you're right. And so we just had people running around,
smacking each other,
to tag each other. Yeah, I know I had a few sneak attacks. Steve got me really good once.
I think there was one sim just out of nowhere, like a ninja got DTG.
No, I think it was Chemist.
Yeah, it was Chemist. and nobody expected it.
A lot of sneak attacks, a lot of teamwork I saw. I think in both cases with the sneak attacks, there was a distraction person.
I remember that because I was not allowed to wear my Thorns armor because it interfered with it. I was running around naked.
You love your Thorns armor.
I do. I swear by it.
I think you're one of the only people I know that insists on putting thorns on every one of their pieces of armor.
This is why I'm handing out armor. Jurassic has Thorns armor now. Cobble has had Thorns armor. She fell in the end. Spoiler alert.
And this is why I die every time that we get into a punching match.
Uh-huh.
You know what else was really cool that happened in March?
What?
Jurassics was working on a mushroom farm, and he created and posted a video on YouTube. Shout out to Jurassics if y'all want to go check him out. Make sure to follow him or subscribe to him on YouTube. But he put out a video of a mushroom farm design that he had created. And I believe it was in March that Grian from Hermitcraft actually used that same design and called him out in a video.
The Grian,
which is so cool to see that kind of support from, one of our Inter Realms players that works so hard and puts a lot of work into his redstone, his content, his farms, all of the above. Very, very cool to see that our own Dino Man got credited.
Yep, he's on the A team. He's one of us.
Yes, we know him.
Does that mean by extension we're Grian approved?
Ooh, I like it.
Grian doesn't approve me. I'm not a builder.
Grian doesn't know it yet, but he has secretly approved all of us because we're Inter Realms players. That's how it works.
I think the only one of us he would approve of the A team. Cobble's kind of A team. He would approve Cobble.
Cobble is really, really impressive. Speaking of Cobble, did you know that she joined the server in April?
I didn't realize it was that soon after the world started.
She did. She had joined us in April. I think she was along for watching the beginning of World 4, but unfortunately, I don't think she had met the criteria yet, and so she wasn't able to join us at the beginning.
Ah, okay.
But she has been an incredible addition to the Inter Realms team.
Yes.
He has created a lot of really cool builds, some of which have made their way onto the server. She does a lot of work as well and posts a lot of YouTube videos, so check out Cobble K. But she is one that's really creative and really great at coming up with large-scale builds, which I know you know firsthand.
Yes, because I may or may not have borrowed one of her builds. I'm going with borrowed.
Build coming to the server soon, TM?
Yes.
Yeah, we'll have to keep an eye out and watch out for the awesome build that is coming. But yeah, we've had a really good time with Cobble. We've spent a lot of late nights working on mini games and some community builds as well with Cobble K.
And making her work on her Spawn Island too.
Reminding her to work on her own projects. Yes, she loves to help us with community things.
Yes.
At that time, we were also going through a lot of behind the scenes work with the Mojang and official Minecraft server team to actually get us recognized as and listed on the official Minecraft server list. So we're recognized by Mojang as being compliant across player safety, community guidelines, and Minecraft usage guidelines as well. That was super exciting to see all that hard work finally come to fruition in April.
That was.
Our admin team did a lot of work and made sure that everything was prepared and ready. So if you haven't seen us on the official Minecraft server list, you can check us out and give us a thumbs up there as well. You can do that every day. I should probably go do that, hey? It's a good reminder.
It's a good reminder. Before you do that, though, what about the villager trade hall? Because, like you said, I like thorns and I like armor. I don't get supplied.
The villager trade hall was opened and created as a library that anybody could go in. Any of our players could go in and pay 5 emeralds to get whichever book enchantment they needed. So this is really nice. We did a few things like this on this world to help us with potential lag reduction, and I think this one worked out really well. Special shout out to Naku, Sim, Doylin, and Elaney for working on the villager management team.
Rounding out April, was there anything else that happened?
We finally opened the end. And I think I mentioned that before. So we did give it, gosh, it was about a month, I believe, of the server with no end opened. So we didn't have elytras, we didn't have shulker boxes. It also got everybody to use, a lot of people were using the new bundle at that time.
I still have not made one of those. I don't know what they are.
I think at the time we added a data pack to add it in because I don't think it was in the game when we started on 1.20.
Oh, okay.
So we added it in with a data pack, and we did have a lot of people using the bundle since we didn't have the shulkers at first. But we did open the end in April. We had a cool event that we had people come together for the end opening at that time and tried to make it a little bit more challenging, although I can't say it'll ever be as challenging as the race to the end dragon fight.
Yeah.
This one, they told everybody no armor. For weapons, we could only use a fish to slap the dragon with, or you could throw eggs or snowballs.
I think sadly I missed this one because it was with the. I'm not the most awake in the mornings, and I think this was more of a UK thing, so I think it was early morning, and I missed this.
Yeah, it was probably at 4 a.m. your time or something crazy
SB
like
doesn't
that.
do mornings.
You either stay up all night, right, or don't go.
If I'm up at 4 a.m., I haven't slept yet.
Yeah, I don't think I had a chance to attend this event either. I think I had something else going on, or I was traveling at that time. But I did see some of the clips and some of the recordings of it. It looked a lot of fun.
It did.
So after that, everybody finally had access to an elytra. I think at that time we had said...
I think it was max of 2, because I still only have 2.
2 elytras, just to make sure that everybody could get a good opportunity to get those elytras. And then after a while, we did end up opening that back up. But everybody started to fly around with elytras. I know there are some people that didn't go, and were actually a lot later than that finally went to the end.
I know 2 people.
We were some of them.
We waited. Did we wait that long? I feel like
Do you remember?
I thought we went that weekend.
I can't recall how long it was, but we did wait. It might have been a week later until we finally were able to go.
When we did that, I saw the coolest thing I've ever seen in Minecraft.
What was that?
So Cobble's with us, and this was one of the first times she's with us. She gets the inventory and stuff. She puts it in a shulker box, because we'd got them from there, puts it in her chest, and then jumps off the edge. She took all her stuff with her and got home. And I was like, why have I never thought of this? That is the coolest thing I've ever seen in Minecraft.
She's smart. At least it was a purposeful fall into the end, though, not like her recent one.
It's just, yeah. It was just so simple, and I've never once thought about it. That actually blew my mind.
I think that's the really cool thing about, being on an SMP with so many different people is seeing the different ways that you can play the game, thinking about things that you've never even thought about before. Very cool to see all of what everybody's done. And now shulkers, right, have just become, as you mentioned, Chemist's spreadsheet.
Yes.
Real life in Minecraft spreadsheet.
We need to get a picture of that. We need pictures of that because it's impressive.
May was a fun month. We had a couple of different things that I don't think we've done before. But first of all, we got 2 new players. The Otter General and Furridge joined us in May.
Is Furridge is the one that has Godzilla, yes?
Furridge does have Godzilla, yes. He's made a really cool cityscape that is based on, I believe, Godzilla. Don't quote me on that because I haven't seen the movies.
Yeah, that's a whole nother podcast.
But he's been doing some really, really cool stuff. I'm really impressed with what he's come up with so far and continues to do as well. And Otter is on another level. Do you remember when she showed up on A Road and put her starter build in?
Yeah, I'm not a builder, and I saw this cool thing right next to my house, and I was like, okay, I'm just going to start mine over, and I didn't.
She did. I think she's done this with a couple of builds now on the Inter Realms, but she drained out water to put part of it underwater. Yeah. And it's really cool to see. And then her starter build had the nice open to the sky as well.
And it's like Blackstone and the crystals and not easy to get materials.
And she had that up fast too.
Yeah, like I went to bed and then woke up and the next day and it was there.
She is a grinder and an incredible builder as well. It's been really nice to have Otter on. She's done some really great stuff with some of our community builds too.
Yes. And her nether portal, like we took inspiration from that because that was amazing.
Yes, she, her nether tunnel and the portal that goes with it. Very, very cool. I think that's when Otter came on, she helped start the Dr. Pepper controversy.
I believe so, yes.
So if you are not aware of the Dr. Pepper controversy, we have had an ongoing argument amongst the Inter Realms players about whether or not Dr. Pepper is good.
Which it is.
I fully agree with that.
Yay.
What I'm seeing is it might be region-based. It seems like most people in the US and some in the UK seem to like it. Most of the people in Australia do not like it. And now I've heard that they're different, the ones in the US versus other countries.
We need to get some international shipping going on. Trade a couple.
We need to do a live taste test as one of our podcast recordings.
Yes.
But I know we had Dr. Pepper, make its way onto the server. I think there were bottles of Dr. Pepper going around.
Yes.
And we also had Pepsi Man show up. Pepsi Man made his way to... Was that Troge playing a prank on Otter or the other way around? I can't recall.
No, because it was at Otter's base. I'm pretty sure Troge did it.
Yep. So in retaliation for, I believe, Otter pranked Troge with Dr. Pepper...
Because splash potions?
It was a praising circle of all hail Dr. Pepper. And I forget the exact details, but then after that, because Troge doesn't like Dr. Pepper, he came back with Pepsi Man to get back at Otter. And thus started the Dr. Pepper controversy.
Well, and that makes no sense because Dr. Pepper is made by Pepsi.
The more you know. Maybe someday we'll get it settled.
Maybe. I doubt it.
May was also the month where you started your armor collection. We talked about it a little bit, but
yeah.
I believe that was the start of it all and the start of Iron Man.
Yes. It's a good movie. You should watch it. Have you seen it?
When I tell you folks that I have been kindly harassed for the last 12 months about seeing Iron Man.
Iron Man 1, mind you, from 2008.
It has been constant ask from SB, and that has, made its way to other people as well. And I think it all really started from you building your Iron Man exit cave and the armory that went around it.
That you use all the time and you didn't know what it was from.
I still can enjoy it, even if I don't know it.
You can now that you've seen the movie, yes.
And now I have seen the movie. I'm happy to announce that as a Christmas present for SB, I did finally watch Iron Man 1 and half of Iron Man 2. Don't ask me when I'm going to finish the other half.
Iron Man 3 build coming soon.
In May, we had a really cool event around a bingo server, too. That was a cool bit of fun as well.
That was. It's also the first time I've ever played Minecraft bingo.
That was your first time?
Yes. I think that's when Cobble started, the first time I hung out with Cobble a lot more, because we were on the same team a lot on there.
Yeah. We had a good handful of us. I think we had, maybe 10 people to start?
About that, yeah. I think it was a constant 8 to 10 people throughout the day.
Yeah, we had some people coming in and out as we were playing, but we played for 6 hours or something crazy. We played for a long time, just a bunch of games of Minecraft bingo. And of course, there were all sorts of shenanigans that happened as part of it.
There's always shenanigans.
Lots of fun getting to go around and, again, learning people's knowledge of the game and different ways that you could get certain items in the game. So if you're not familiar with Minecraft bingo, it's a normal bingo card and you have to get 5 in a row of items, or I believe there was advancements in there as well.
Yes, achievements were in there as well.
So we had both of those things that we were trying to do. Everybody had the same bingo card that we were all working towards, and we did teams of, I think, 2 and 3 for the most part.
Yeah.
And had people work together to try to win. And I think we had, all sorts of winners between all the different games we played. I think that brings us into June. June was pretty cool. That was the first time we had ever run a modded server for the Inter Realms SMP. So we opened up another server option, and we ran the Uncharted Expedition mod on our modded server, and we had a good handful of people playing that. You and I played that at the beginning.
Yeah, I ended up breaking it.
You did break it, didn't you?
Yeah.
What did you do?
I found that was the one where they had, I think it was RVs or something.
Mm-hmm.
And I found there's one certain recipe in there that people weren't looking at that you could just keep expanding. So I had like the biggest RV in like an hour.
That sounds like you.
Yeah, it was great.
Speed run to get the best possible thing.
Yep.
Yeah, we had quite a few people play on that server. I know DTG and Troj and Doylin. I think Mika, Otter, Chemist.
I think Elaney was on
there. Yep.
Was Terry on there?
I was on there for a little bit. There was a few other people that played, and that one went for a month, which played nicely into our live stream weekend that we had in June as well. So our live stream weekend was a couple of different things that people did. Some folks played on the modded server, played the Uncharted Expedition mod. And I believe it was during that we had the creator of the mod come into a couple people's chats while they were streaming.
One of which was mine. That was
cool,
very cool.
What did he say? What was he asking you?
He mostly wanted to see how people were enjoying the mod and if what he could do to make it better. Thankfully, I broke the mod like a day later. Like, please don't fix that. That was great.
Yeah, that's pretty cool to have the developer of a mod, come in and ask how it's going. Yeah, I was really pleased to see that.
Yeah, me too.
With the live stream weekend, we also, of course, had our shenanigans on the community server too. I know we had plenty of people on there working on their bases. I think we were working on the Nether Hub at that time as well, a little bit. And then I believe it was around this time that we launched pigs into space.
Yeah, I think that was part of live stream weekends that started.
I believe this was another thing seen on Hermitcraft that we brought over to Inter Realms. But we had folks trying to launch pigs into space, and I think some got up over 1,000, which is absolutely crazy. But when pigs fly, very entertaining to watch. I didn't get to interact. Were you there? Did you get to play?
I did a little bit of it, and Troj may have knocked me off the thing a couple times with the fishing pole.
The first
step is a doozy.
Yeah, a lot of fun. Well, that is the first half of 2024, and I can't believe so much happened in the first half.
There was a lot of things, a lot of excitement.
A lot of really cool stuff. New server, there's always so much hype around the new server, but it's been really fun to see the journey and kind of relive this journey of the first 6 months. But we are going to actually wrap it up here for this part 1. Be on the lookout for part 2, where we'll talk about what happened in the rest of 2024, July through December. We still got 6 months of stuff to go through.
And it's good stuff too.
Please make sure to like, subscribe, follow, and comment. This is going to be on all the platforms. So the Inter Realms SMP website link will be in the description. You can also find us on social media, on X, Blue Sky, Instagram, Facebook. We're on all of them at the Inter Realms SMP. Go follow us there and find out what everybody's up to in real time. But until then, thank you all for listening, and we will be back soon with the next recap. Bye, everyone.
Bye.
This has been a production of the Inter Realms Podcast Network. For more information, go to podcast.interrealmssmp.com. You can see the full link in the description of this episode. Thank you for listening.